Hi, RAM fans. This is Miley Martin from Student Activities at Fresno City College. And RAM 30 is all about meeting inspiring Fresno City College alumni and community members who share their stories of success. Today, we're meeting a multi-talented artist who graduated from Fresno City College in 2012. Please welcome Sansanee Boonyad.
Hi, Miley. Nice
Hi.
to meet you today.
Sawadee.
Sawadee.
Sawadee ka.
Yes, I'm glad that you have me here today. When you say someone who already success, for me, it's just the beginning of the journey to success.
Exactly.
But thank you for having me today.
Well, thank you. I know in this time of COVID, it's great to see you virtually. It's hard to catch up because you are a instructor of fine arts at Saddleback College right now. And we met in the student lounge, gosh, quite a few years ago. And at that time is when I learned that you had come from Thailand, multi-talented, you're interested in art, you're a Thai dancer. I'm just curious, what brought you here to Fresno from Thailand?
To Fresno from Thailand. My parents lived in Fresno, lives here in the US longer than me, and then I decided to come to visit them. The first attempt was not to stay, just to visit it. But then things changed, and I decided to stay, and then. When I first got to the US, my English was so limited. I only know a few words. I knew just a few words, even though I learned a little bit of English in Thailand, but oh no, it's so different at that time.
How many languages do you speak, Sansanee?
I spoke two before I came here. I speak Thai, Lao, and I know a little bit of Chinese. So, but I can't say that I'm fluent in Chinese. So I stick with two before I came to the US.
Wow, that's amazing. So I know we met in the student lounge. You worked in our lounge, and that's when we learned you're very passionate about art and being creative. What inspired you to focus on art at Fresno City College?
Wow, that's a long story, but I will make it short. But think back to the first day that I met you.
Uh-huh.
I was so inspired by you and Janet, because at that time, let me talk about the time that I met you just a little bit before
Oh
I
yeah.
to what inspired me to
Yes.
making art. That's my first job when I came to the US. I got the first job at student activities, and you interviewed me. You and Janice interviewed me, and at that day was my big day. That was my big day. I was so nervous, excited, and didn't know what to say because my English, it was like, no, I don't know what to say. But you made me feel so comfortable. I felt comfortable, and I looked at you, and I feel like, wow, I meet someone who just looked like me. She Asian.
That was great. Yeah, we'd interview you, and you were so talented. And, you know, in student activities, we're always looking for students that have the ability to create. And everyone has that ability to be creative in so many different ways. And we see so many great students, and you were one of our wonderful students. I learned about plant-based cooking. You're a vegetarian, and you participated as a Thai cultural performer at Asian Fest many years and inspired a lot of other students to learn Thai dance. So yeah, very talented. So before you came to student activities, were you focusing on art at all?
um, yes, I did. I did learn some type of painting and drawing in my country before, and about Thai dance. I think most people in Thailand know how to dance because because I attend public school, and it's what requirement is a requirement for any boys and girls in Thailand to learn how to dance, like Thai dance. But dance, especially in my hometown, they will have so many events like festival, and then they have students to dance for them. So that's part is something that I already know from Thailand.
Well, learning and sharing more culture about Thailand while you were with us was so great. I have gone to Thailand. I spent 10 days there, oh, many, many years ago, but it was so beautiful. And oh my goodness, the food, the Thai food in Thailand, my favorite out of all. I've traveled all over the world and I love Thai food and Greek food, I think the favorite. And of course, the Italians, ooh, great. Um, but yeah, sharing culture, and that's one thing about our department. We had so many different students from all over the world participate with us. But yes, your cooking, you did bring some, you've shared all kinds of Thai culture with us. But I wanted to ask you, after graduating from Fresno City College, and I believe you graduated with an art degree, share a little bit about, what did you do at Fresno City College to get you set up to become an instructor of fine art?
Yes, yes. So, I'm going to answer your first questions and then come to here. So,
Okay.
what inspired me to create art is just something that within me, like is built is with me since I remember, because I like to draw. I like to draw and paint. I drew on my mom's magazines when I was little kid, and in my backyard is like a right field. Yeah, people plant rice in the backyard, and then I dug the mud and then just come put work with them, play with it, make some clay sculpture with it. So it's been like from the beginning of my life that I like to paint and draw, or do some creativities work. To answer your questions about Fresno City College, I actually transferred. I did transfer, not graduated. I transferred from Fresno City College to UCLA for art. Then after that, I went to Laguna College of Art and Design to get my master degree in
Oh,
painting and drawing. It is like as a steps. And what made me want to become the art instructors, I would say because of Fresno City College. um, at the beginnings of my living in the US, I didn't think that I can do a lot more. I didn't feel that I know a lot, because of the language barrier. Speaking English is a huge thing I that made me doubt about my abilities. Then I just at the beginning I just thought, I just gonna get an AA and find some work, find something, because if I want to live in the US, I need some income. But then I met you, I met you and student activities, got the first job, um, and also meet my art instructor, Miss Ann Chai. She was the chair of the art department at that time. And meeting her, study with her, changed my thoughts. Changed my thought. She showed me how to be free. I would say how to be free from my negative thought about myself. And the
wow.
learning process of art at that time make me feel that I should try, because let's say if I don't try, the only answer that I get is no. If I try, I have opportunity to hear the word yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I met her and I asked about how to become like you. I
Oh,
actually asked her that question. I felt like, well, I think I have ability to serve. I like to service people. I like to help people. But at
Mhm.
the same time, how can I make something I like, something I love to to make some money, to make some income
Right.
into my life, and then share what I love with other people. And after that, I met with the counselor, and they show me the step. If I want to become the college professor, I have to get the master degree.
Right.
At that time, it was a big deal. It was a big deal. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to finish my AA or not.
Right.
Talking about master degree was I don't know. It feel like out of reach to me at the time.
So, Sansanee, when I met you, of course, you were always so very talented, but I know you were a little bit shy. How did you build your confidence? And was it through Fresno City College and your mentor, giving you that confidence? I know a lot of students come to Fresno City College and they're very, very shy. And you were shy as well. How did you break out of being shy and to go after your goals and be more confident?
Um, I think you probably heard the words is let's say I think that word can be describe what I've been through. So it takes the whole village to raise one child.
Oh, right.
That's
Yes.
the word that I want to describe what I going through. So at that time, I was shy and I was not confident about anything because coming to the US is like my world up like went upside down.
Like a culture shock. I'm sure it's
It's like
culture
a cultural
shock.
shock, and
Yeah.
also the ability to communicate what like shut down. I feel like I was disabled at the time.
Yes.
uh, I understand that what going on. I have a lot going on in my head, but to express what I'm thinking is was so limited. But I would say it's more like building up things, building up. I met everyone in student activities. At that time, Sean Henderson was the boss.
Yes.
So he's so great in cheering me up.
Yeah.
And I think the first thing that I learned from student activities that I think you put me to pick up the phone. That's
Oh,
the first step.
right.
Picking up the phone, answer the phone, and put
Right.
me in the front desk to talk with other people, even though I didn't know what to say. But that's the first step that I took, and after that, I kind of built up my confidence around people around me, and
Right.
people around me at that time was so kind. So
Right.
that's one part, working with student activity. And then the second part is that I met so many good instructors at Fresno City College, Miss Anchai, Miss Susana Sosa. So
Right.
she's the one who encouraged me to apply to master program. Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah, she teaches art history.
Oh, right.
She
Yes.
and also she encouraged me to participate in her honor classes when I was
Wonderful.
in Fresno City College. And at that time, like, I don't know if I can study. It's so in my head. I have so many negativities about myself that I couldn't do it. It's too hard for me. But Miss Sosa is another person who pushed me. She like,
Uh-huh.
Sansani, you can do it. Come to take my honor class. You will be
Right.
fine. Yeah, and I got an A from her class too, and it was surprise. I was surprised because her class, her art history class, is a lot of writing. We have to
Uh,
write, no multiple choices. It's like a writing and remember things. But that's the part. And then when I transferred to UCLA, I got another job working with new student and transition program. And my position is new student advisors. I have to give advice to new students, talking about what classes can transfer from city college or from high school to UCLA. And I had to be a guide tour, take them
Oh,
around the campuses. Um, another things that we have to do is we have to call new students, 95 people. We have to call 95 students to welcome them and congratulate them, talk about lots of things. So there's so many things that I have to do to gain this confidence. Yeah.
so you built a great foundation at Fresno City College, and that continued at UCLA, and
Yes.
then you went and got your master's.
Hmm.
I know we've checked in here and there, and I've seen you when you're back home, and it's so wonderful you're here. Um, what would you tell students at Fresno City College, let's say, who are interested in being an artist? What advice could you give a student at Fresno City College right now who has talent but is not sure, because you've been there? What would you tell those students?
I would say being a professional artist is not easy. It's not easy path because they don't have there's no step 1 2 3 and then we get the result. Sometimes we need to be in the right place and the right time, meet the right people to get exposed to the market. But I would say my advice is gonna be make a lot of work, make what you love and then stick with what you like to do, because it will stay with you for the whole life, for your entire life. Selling or not, that's the another thing that you have to work around. But create the creativity path is the most important thing, so just keep working on that. Yeah.
Wonderful. Um, so let's talk about your art. I know you are a fine art instructor at Saddleback. What does that entail for you? I see a couple pieces of your art on the walls, and also you painted 4 panels in our game room at Fresno City College. So students, when we can be back on campus, we've got 4 panels of beautiful artwork that you wonderfully painted for us before you left Fresno City College. So your artwork is so beautiful. And could you tell us about what is behind you? Is that a piece you're working on right now, right behind you?
I'm working on this piece right now. So these ones, I I I worked on this piece about 6 years ago, and I thought I was finished. I didn't want to touch it again, but then when I come back to see it, I felt that there are many stories that I want to tell. So I'm continue working on this one. Is related to my childhood and the 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 thing that made me come to the US is related to my personal story.
Uh-huh.
I will share with everyone after I finish this work. So this is my self portrait as a child.
Oh, fabulous. I was wondering, well, who could that be?
Who can that be? Someone who look like a boy. Yeah, that's my self portrait when I was a child. I got like a short bang here and
Uh,
short hair,
uh-huh.
always like a tomboy.
Well, I'll be excited to hear your personal story, but tell us, since you're an artist, what inspires you? You know, when you're doing your art, where do you get your inspiration from? Is it nature? Is it family? Is it just you wake up one day and you say, I'm going to paint this? Where does that inspiration come from?
The inspiration come from so many things, Miley. Someday when I take a walk, I like to hike. I like hiking.
Oh,
I would say mostly come from nature, because when I take a walk and see the trees, see the leaves. Sometimes I talk to trees, talk to the birds that I see. So don't say that I'm crazy, but it just feels so good to connect to the nature. Um, when I take a walk and be surrounding with the nature, I get some idea.
mm.
When my mind clear, I get some idea, and then I come back in my studio, write it down, take a note, and then move on.
Do you ever use like take a picture, or is it more you see it and then you internalize that information?
So I use every tools that I can do. Sometimes
Oh,
take the pictures. I take lots of pictures, and I also draw from real things, draw from life. So, for example, if I want to draw my headphone, I study it from the real thing, and I
uh,
also use my imagination. So it's everything combined.
so do you ever take your canvas and go outside, like how you see artists at the beach, they have their canvas and they're painting the sailboats and the seagulls. Do you ever do that type,
I
or
did.
do you
I did.
mainly, or you,
That's called plein air. Now in plein air painting. I did, but I use watercolor,
oh,
and I
so
teach that class too.
okay, so what classes do you teach at Saddleback right now?
So for summer classes, I taught, I should say taught because it's just finished. We just finished the final weeks this week. Four classes. I taught beginning sketching, beginning life drawings. So that's mean we draw people, figure drawing, and then the intermediate and advanced watercolor. Another one is beginning painting in oil and acrylic, and that one is the demo. The course
Oh,
is a demo that I did for the class.
mhm.
Um,
Well, I was just gonna say, I'm looking at that beautiful rose. My grandmother was an artist and she painted in oils and watercolors. My mother is talented in art. My sister is talented in art. I am just, I don't think of myself as being talented in painting, although I have enjoyed going and you go to a paint class and you have a glass of wine and you paint with, everyone. That's really fun. I think I underestimate my talents because I feel like I'm not an artist, but I love creating. I think it's so peaceful and it's very therapeutic. I think I
it,
mean, so when you're teaching your students virtually now, how do you do that? I mean, do they see that must be kind of hard?
it's hard. It
It
is
is
hard.
hard, yeah?
Yeah, it's really difficult for me because I like analog. I like hand-on classes, but it's still okay. I have to take the video, the demonstration video that what I draw or paint, and then post on the site for my student to see, and then we meet through Zooms, and then
Right.
they can ask me questions, things like that.
Wonderful.
But it is difficult, Miley, because
Oh,
for me, is the most enjoyable to teach when I meet with students, when I
exactly.
can share what I learn, and most of the time, students shares a lot with me too. That's
I
that.
I think that's an important part as, human beings, we need interaction. We need to see each other. What makes this is so nice is that through Zoom I can see you. It's almost like you're in the next room, but we're just, sitting at our separate desk or whatever. You're so creative and so inspirational and such a beautiful person. Sansanee, is there anything else that you would like to share with students, that you would like to encourage students? Anything else that you like?
If I can talk to many students who come to Fresno City College, or someone or some student who thinking about their future, I want to encourage them to follow their dream. Just whatever that you dream for, go for it, and you won't regret it.
So now, if there is a student or a community member that wants to get in touch with you, are you on social media?
Yes, I am. So I have my own website. You want to see some of my website just a little bit?
Sure.
Yes, I can share the screen with you.
Okay,
Uh,
that's awesome.
mhm. Oh, I can't share the screen because
Oh,
that's okay. So you can just type in my name, Sansanee Boonyad. So my website is my name and my last name, and I'm in Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Just type my name in, it will pop up.
so your name is spelled
Sansanee My last name is Boonyad, Boonyad.
Thank you, Sansanee. Thank you so much. So Fresno City College or community members, thank you so much for reviewing RAM 30. I want to encourage you to stay creative, dream your dreams, to achieve them, to stay inspired. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.